H-A-J-D-U-K-I-E-W-I-C-Z. You may be wondering what I just spelled. No, I did not just spell the alphabet backwards. And no, I did not just spell a very complex word from a high school spelling bee. I just spelled my last name. I know you're all in complete shock right now, but just imagine being me and seeing people make the face you're making every single day. It doesn't matter where we go, to the mall, out to dinner, or even to the grocery store. Somebody is always going to ask how to say my last name as soon as one of my parents hands them their credit card. One time at Sky Zone, my mom was paying for us to jump on the trampolines. And then it happened. The lady asked my mom those 7 words that I dread hearing. How do you say your last name? All I wanted to do was jump, not hear my last name get brutally mispronounced again. I mean seriously. Sometimes when I hear people try to say my last name, I don't know if they're sneezing or looking for vegetables. Hide a cabbage, head a cabbage, and don't get me started on the boys. Hi, Dookie Wits. Really? Sometimes I wish I had a last name like Allen or maybe Johnson, like my friends Abby and Taylor. But there are some ups to having a last name like mine. For instance, having your own game in after school where the counselors challenge people on who can say my last name right. Just for the record, nobody could. So I got the prize. Or having a cool clock where instead of numbers, it's the letters of my last name. On Saturdays, I like to sleep until 8 o'clock. Another great thing about my last name is that people know exactly who you're talking about when you start with Haidu, Haida, Haija. Oh, that's Nia. When I think about it, it's not as bad as it seems having a last name like Haidukevich. Next year, I'll be the only person with the last name Haidukevich in the entire middle school. It's cool to be different and stand out from the crowd. Even though your last name may not be Polish or use 12 letters of the alphabet, you can always make a name for yourself by just being uniquely you.
Have you ever been so embarrassing that you wish you could hide under a rock? Well, that happened to me a few times. So, my first embarrassing moment is when my mom and me went to Family Dollar, which my mom and me always go to Family Dollar. My mom said, please stay in the aisle so I can go buy some groceries. So, she went on. I was walking around the aisle till I saw this amazing rock star toy. I love toys. I just play it when I'm bored. So I picked it up. I started to little jiggle around, dancing and dancing. Until when I got all into it. I jumped. I did a split. I did the nay-nay. I did the hit the quan. To one day, I flipped and slipped. To a crowd behind me just went tippy, tippy, tippy all around me. So when they went behind me, I stopped. I didn't know what to do. My mom was done. My mom said, Nima, come on, it's time to go home. And everybody clapped for me. It was so amazing. So I got so freaked out that I tiptoed over someone and ran to my mom. My mom said, what's going on? Can we go home? Can we go home? My mom said. So she let me go to my mom. And that's how. My second embarrassing moment is when you know that I was trying to cook some bread, but I actually put rice and an egg in it. So I stirred it up. And when my sister come in, hey, I want to buy some rice. Let me get the rice. She bumped me. The egg flipped and it dropped on my head. that was hilarious. And my third embarrassing moment is when you're walking down the street, when you never see a penny on the ground. It was a lucky penny shop. So I went to a shop to buy a penny. So I used it to buy some jelly beans. Until one day it was not a penny. It was like $5. I got so embarrassing that I asked my mom to buy it. I didn't want to buy it. So we went home and I found a lot of pennies and I asked my mom, Mom, eventually I don't need to buy it. I got 25 pennies. Thank you.
Close your eyes. Now imagine giving yourself up to 10 shots a day and just as many fingerprints. This is my life every day. I have an invisible, life-threatening disease called type 1 diabetes. And one of its many names, juvenile diabetes, type 1, or T1D. You can get type 1 at any age, 0 through 100. I was 8 years old. I wanted to share my journey with everyone in hopes to spread awareness about the signs and symptoms of type 1. Some symptoms to look for are extreme thirst, frequent urination, lethargy, increased appetite, sudden weight loss, sudden vision changes, sweet or fruity odors from my breath. I had all of these along with headaches and stomach aches. When I was admitted into the ICU, my blood sugar was 620. I was sick for months before I figured out what was wrong. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease that affects the pancreas. If your pancreas stops making insulin, your body is not able to turn sugar into energy, and you'll get a toxic acid built up in your body called keto acid. Type 1 is genetic, but no one in my family has it but me. I had never knew about type 1 until February 3rd, 2016, and now I am fluent in 2 languages. English and diabetes. How does diabetes make me feel? When my blood sugar is in between 90 and 120, I feel great. When I'm below 90, that's hypoglycemic. I feel very sluggish, silly, dizzy, and weak. That's when I need fast-acting sugar. If I get too low, I could get brain damage. When my sugar gets 250 or higher, I feel like I have the flu, and high blood sugar can cause organ damage. There are 2 ways to lower my blood sugar: insulin and exercise. I hope by telling my story today, I brought awareness to many families and may save a life.
Why do we study history? My wife's teacher, Mrs. Schaefer, told me we should study history so we don't repeat it. This got me to thinking about one of my favorite parts of history, World War II. World War II lasted 6 years and involved over 100 million people from over 30 countries. And here I am, 18-year-old boy in Tallahassee, whose biggest fight has been with my sister about who's it when we're playing tag. So let's see if we can connect World War II with 5th grade. I have come up with 3 lessons that will help us get through 5th grade. Lesson number 1. It's all about you hang around in 5th grade. In World War II, there are Allies and Axis. America joined up with the Allied forces in 1941 after Japan bombed Pearl Harbor in 1941. America joined up with France, China, Great Britain, and some other ones to ultimately win the war. Who you team up with at lunch, playground, or even your classroom will help you win in 5th grade. And by win, I mean with grades and behavior. Speaking of behavior, that brings me to lesson number 2. Everything you do is important because it might be remembered for generations to come. Take my great-grandpa, J.R. Strain, a decorated Marine hero who was a gunnery sergeant and came home with a Silver Star and a Purple Heart, but sadly died before I could meet him. But my family still talks about what he did and how brave he was. You have to watch your actions in 5th grade. Do you want to be known as the kid who peed all over the seat in the bathroom, or the kid who helped his or her classmate? As I mentioned, World War II lasted 6 years. Sometimes in 5th grade, bad days seem like you will never survive it. That brings me lesson number 3. Even when things seem horrible, there will always be an end. So I guess Mrs. Shaver was right. We should study history.
My Hero, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. by Jacoby Bennett. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a Baptist minister at Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia. He was born on January 15, 1929. He is best known for his role in the civil rights movement, using nonviolent civil disobedience based on his Christian beliefs. He won a Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. Dr. King died on April 4th, 1968. He was assassinated by firearm by James Earl Ray in Memphis, Tennessee. He had just delivered a speech. I've been to the mountaintop the night before. Dr. King wrote and delivered many speeches. Loving your enemies, Our God is Marching On, and Letter from the Birmingham Jail. He is also known for participating in many protests and marches for equality, most known as the March on Washington. After his death, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day became a holiday in many cities and states beginning in 1971 and became a U.S. federal holiday in 1986. His day was observed as the third Monday in January. Hundreds of streets in the U.S. have been renamed in his honor. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is my hero because he made a difference. He was a good man, and it is very important that we celebrate his life and keep his dream alive. I've had the honor of reciting one of his most famous speeches. I have a dream. I will end with this. This is our hope, and this is the faith that I will go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mound of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. My hero, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
And suddenly bright lights start flashing and a loud siren starts to go off? It's probably a cop. Even though it might not be the greatest feeling in the world, you need to remember cops have a job to do. They see beyond the anger and excuses and focus on one important job, and that is to keep you safe. Sometimes I think people forget cops are just like you and me. I see how they're treated at times and I wonder why. They have families too that love them and pray they come home safe. I know, because I do just that for my family who serve as police officers. I proudly come from a long line of family members that have served and or are currently serving. I know about the long hours they work and the family time they miss out on. They even work at night when we're sleeping. It's sad when they have to miss special visits with family, but I know that only means someone else is lucky enough to have their help. Through the years, law enforcement officers have had to change with our growing populations and new threats that arrive at us daily. It is sad to say that the number of law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty
has increased over the last years. Some are being ambushed, and some are even being mistreated when they're just trying to get something to eat. Why would we want to hurt the very people who help and protect us? A world without police officers and laws would be a world of chaos, evil, and misery. We the people need to help the police officers as much as we can. Respect for them and following the law should be something we all do. Men and women in law enforcement serve, protect, and risk their lives for people they do not even know and have never met. Some may say it's just their job. I say it's much more than that. It's a choice they make to help us stay safe. They choose to go to cause and help in some of the worst times of people's lives. They see things most of us don't even want to think about, but they still choose to help, even when it's hard and they might risk their own life. So the next time you see those flashing lights and hear those loud signs behind you, just remember they have a job to do and so do you. We need to all work together and don't forget to back the blue.
Good morning, everybody. Before I start, I need to check. Okay. Yeah, this is great. For the first time, I have undivided attention. I'm not competing with your BFF. I mean, your virtual friend, Suri. Sure, you can bring your iPad and your phone to school, but that's besides the point. These days, it's hard to have eye contact or a meaningful conversation with someone. Sometimes you can drop an email or text someone just for them to pay attention. Come on, you know the time you told your mom, "Mom, I've started a fire," and she says, "That's nice, dear," or reading an email. Look, don't get me wrong. I have nothing against technology. I mean, if it weren't for FaceTime, how would I give a grand tour of my Barbie dream house to my grandma who lives 8,000 miles away in India? I just have a problem when my friends can't put down their iPads long enough to have a conversation. I'm not talking about the LOL, IDK, OMG type of Animal Jam chat online. I'm talking about having a good old-fashioned tea party or a baking session. It's a sad day when your friends rather spend time chasing around imaginary Pokemon instead of chasing you around in a game of tag. I mean, how do you compete with the cuteness of Pika Pika? We do need YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter to discuss world events, such as little children being bombed in Aleppo, the outrages committed by ISIS, or Daniel back again with white bands. The average child will take one look at a picture of a hurricane survivor, feel empathetic for a second, and even tweet, #OMG, #feel sorry, #disease, but then forget all about it. We need to do more. So why not set up an old school lemonade stand? Really help and really communicate. While you're waiting for a customer, you can really get to know your friend and have fun. You can talk about how your little brother plays with your dolls, how he pops their heads off, how he cuts their hair off, and how he throws Hot Wheels at your head. But I digress. Sorry for my rant. So what I'm trying to say is, please switch off your gadget, reach out. Maybe I'll be your next real best friend.
Move up, Yoda. There's a new cosmic superpower in town. It's time for the Greek gods to take the stage. Have you heard of Artemis, Apollo, Hesiod? No, you probably haven't. That's why I'm here. Harrison Water, and this is Greek Gods 101. Back in 2000 BC, the Greeks believed that their lives were ruled by gods that each had their own special powers. Now I'm not talking about your average X-ray vision and super speed and whatever, but real powers, the kind that can make you fall in love with a telephone pole. Now there are over 50 Greek gods, but I only have 3 minutes, so I'm going to tell you about the 3 biggest of all time. Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon. Let's start off with Zeus, god of lightning, thunder, and sky, lord of the universe. This guy was loud and commanding. He was also quite the ladies' man. He had over 100 wives and 140 children. That's a lot of birthdays to remember. Did this dude really deserve to be Lord of the Universe? No, he did not. That would be like making me the god of artwork and perfect drawings. And those of you who know me know I have a hard time drawing a stick figure. Next up is the moodiest of all the gods, Poseidon, god of the sea. On his good days, he was pretty laid back and easygoing, and accomplished some pretty amazing feats, like making horses out of seawater. But when he got angry, watch out. He would slam his trident to the ground and make the earth quiver. But being at the bottom of the ocean, he had to contend with a lot of pressure. Last up is Hades, god of the underworld. Now everybody thinks that he's one evil dude, but he didn't choose to be left to roam the underworld. Hades won his 5-star job at a contest he lost to his brothers, Zeus and Poseidon. He's probably best known for the romantic way he wooed his wife Persephone, kidnapping her and taking her to his dark lair filled with zombies. But who could blame the guy? You couldn't exactly log into eHarmony in the underworld. Well, I'm about out of time, but to help you remember what I just said, I have a little song that'll stick in your head. Zeus, he's the Lord of all. Lightning and thunder obey his call. He's the Lord of the skies, and he calls down the rain. Earth is just part of his vast domain. Poseidon, god of the sea. All earth's waters depend on me. He carries a trident, he makes surf roll, the waves and the tempests of the things he controls. His name is Hades. He's the god below. He rules over death and brings sorrow and woe. Zeus is his brother, and he tries to be kind, but he's filled with greed and won't change his mind.
Okay, let's just say I have been through a lot. Remember when Hermine hit and we all lost power for a few days? Well, in case you didn't notice, he was really lazy and sloppy, and he just happened to knock over some trees, and one of them fell on my house. No, let me rephrase that, my room. It's all fixed up now, but it left a huge impact on me. Another thing is that people call me Alice in Wonderland all the time, just because my name is Alice. But the one thing that bothers me the most is that, well, I'm short, petite, chiquito. I just so happen to be shorter than the other children my age. You might be thinking, so? What's wrong with that? I thought the same thing when I realized this, but whoa boy, was I wrong. People make fun of me for it. Even my own friends. No. Anyhow, where was I? Oh, yes. Just this semester, at the beginning of the school year, I figured out that there was someone shorter than me in my class. No offense, Malik, if you're out there. I was thrilled, ecstatic even. But he is a grade below me, so whatever. In fact, just the other day, I told my parents these amazing news as we were eating dinner, and my mother's immediate response was, wow, that's depressing. Really? She was talking about his height, of course, but really? Wait, don't start to criticize me yet. I know I'm not the only one. I complain and complain about how I'm so diminutive, but I am not alone. I feel you. Jade Rose, you know I'm talking to you. I'm with you guys. You know, I am pretty surprised that I'm kind of the oldest in my friend group, but I'm the shortest. No one has ever been proud of my height, and they probably never will, but at least I have everyone to look up to, literally.
Good morning. My name is Jakai Kitchen, and I'm here to ask and tell. Here's what I ask. Why does the government refuse to lower the voting age? Are teens too young? Are they too immature? Well, if you answer yes to one of my questions, I'm here to change your mind. Now here's what I can tell you. Since before 2000, people have been protesting about lowering the voting age. It is my opinion that all 16-year-olds should have the right to vote. If a 16-year-old is mature enough to work and pay taxes that contribute to our economy, then they're mature enough to vote. The National Youth Rights Association reported that the government collects over $9 billion in youth sales tax. This doesn't even include the millions of dollars they collect from their earned income. Here's another fact to consider. The Commission on Youth Voting Rights also reported that youth have just as much knowledge as some adults when it comes to politics. Teens are mature enough to understand the issues surrounding our communities and nation. Their voices should be heard through the power of voting. They want our support to make a difference in the world. We can't keep on sending them mixed messages saying, oh, you're mature enough to work, or you're mature enough to be charged as an adult if you commit a crime. But wait, you're not mature enough to vote for a school superintendent or a state representative? That's crazy. Voting will encourage them and train them to be effective community leaders. Now, I've given you the facts. America, when will you lower the voting age?
Oh, yummy, yummy chocolate. You are so yummy. Do you agree with me, guys? Well, I love chocolate. Every day, I got to have a piece of my chocolate that has almond in it. In my opinion, chocolate tastes good and it makes me joyful. Who can imagine the world without chocolate? I would love to share the good things about chocolate that would convince you to eat it. First, I will tell you how chocolate makes you happy. Second, I will tell you the health benefits of chocolate. Lastly, I will tell you some warnings of eating too much chocolate. First, I will tell you that according to research, chocolate makes you happy by stopping negative feelings in your brain, meaning you'll not be mean to other children. Chocolate also boosts your memory. It can relieve stress by making you feel relaxed. Imagine it can make us behave. Secondly, chocolate has health benefits too. It is a powerful source for antioxidants that prevents cancer or getting very sick. Chocolate can improve blood flow and lower blood pressure, making us healthier when we get old. And it can even protect your skin by improving hydration and skin density, so your skin doesn't get dry and ugly. Lastly, and sadly, if we eat too much chocolate, it has horrible effects on our body. Chocolate is high in calories that can make you gain weight. It is high in saturated fat, otherwise known as bad fat, which can lead to heart attacks. It is also high in sugar, which can make you a diabetic person, meaning that your wounds won't heal quickly. Chocolate can also give you tooth decay, resulting in a painful toothache. In conclusion, chocolate is mostly good because of its taste and health benefits. But if you eat too much, it will put your health at risk. Based on the research I've done, chocolate can be good or bad, depending on how much you eat. It can make you happy by stopping negative effects, and its health benefits like hydration for your skin makes your skin beautiful. But its terrible effects can make a person fat. My parents never let me eat too much chocolate because they want to take care of me. Like a girl. A few weeks ago, I saw a video campaign called Like a Girl. In the video, interviewers asked some older girls, boys, and then some younger girls the same question. What does it mean to run like a girl? The older girls and boys tossed their hair, giggled, and then skipped clumsily. But when the younger girls were asked the same question, they said it means to run as fast as you can, hard as you can, and strong as you can. That's a big difference. The older girls had lost confidence in what it means to be a girl, and I wanted to know why. One of the answers is that it's easy to lose confidence in yourself if others don't have it in you. When I was younger, I was obsessed with Legos. One day, I went to the store and saw something that made my eyes shine. Girl Legos, in beautiful colors, like pink, purple, and even aqua. I rushed home with that box, stumped out to pieces, and felt very confused. Some of the parts had already been built for me, pre-assembled. I asked my mom, don't they think girls can build hard things too? It's tough when others don't believe in you, but you can turn things around if you believe in yourself. Last summer, I signed up for a robotics camp. I was super excited, but when I walked in, there were a ton of boys there, and I immediately began to doubt myself. Some of the boys were bigger, older, and most of them were strangers. I stopped at the camp, but on the third day, my mom asked me, Annika, why do you keep wearing these big, baggy shirts? I said, Mommy, I want to fit in with the boys, and I want them to think I'm smart. I'm a girly girl. But my mom said, but Annika, you are a girl, and you are smart. You're both. So the next day, instead of wearing a baggy shirt, I wore something that I liked, a pretty dress. And then I went to camp, took my robot, and battled it to the death. And I won, like a girl. So ladies, when the world sends you the message that because you're a girl, that you don't belong here, you're not strong or capable enough, remind yourself, that's right, I am a girl, and that means that I can do it. Thank you.
Mom, get up. This is what some parents hear first thing in the morning. Definitely mine. Today, I'm going to talk to you about parents' daily lives, which usually start with the words, hold on, I need coffee. First of all, a parent's life is very difficult. With all the whining and complaining from us kids, it gets pretty aggravating, right? In my house, it's very rowdy in the mornings. You've got me, a tween, and the 30-minute, when am I going to wear today decision? We all know how that goes. Then, there's my younger sister, who, bless her sweet heart, moves as slow as a turtle. Finally, my kindergarten brother is in a constant panic that we won't get to school on time. On top of that, what about getting extracurricular activities essentials, such as dance bags, football uniforms, or even your chest bag, and anything else for school, like lunch boxes, folders, or extra paper? Imagine handling all that before getting a sip of coffee. The morning routine is probably the worst, but there's that one point in your day when you get to say, phew, they're gone. I mean, for parents, it must be a huge sigh of relief. Did you know that the average American drinks between 2 and 5 cups of coffee per day? No wonder my mom's favorite mug says, life begins after coffee. On second thought, maybe the end of the day is the hardest on parents. After a long day at work, playing taxi driver with the kids, and not getting enough coffee, they return home and have to get us to take showers, do chores, and do homework, all without arguing. I don't know about you, but I don't want to do my chores. I'm tired too. My way out of things is arguing. Don't try this at home. Parents really don't want to hear it, especially at night. As you can see, a parent's life is way more tiresome than you may imagine. I don't know what it is with coffee, but it must be magical or something. Whatever it is, it must be enough to convince them that handling us is easier with it. Seriously, even though we kids can be exasperating at times, I do wonder, what would they do without us?
Bum, 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 bum. Hello, welcome aboard the Disney Fantasy Cruise Ship. I will be your cruise director for the next 2.5 minutes. Today's destinations include a tour around the ship's beautiful pool deck, a glimpse at some of Disney's finest restaurants on the ocean, and a stop at Castaway Cay, Disney's private island. So sit back, relax, and enjoy your Disney cruise experience. The ship's pool deck is quite possibly one of the coolest places on the whole ship. There are pools for adults, splash pools for toddlers, and the unforgettable aqueduct. The aqueduct is an amazing water slide that goes within a clear tube over the ocean. You will never forget the giant splash at the end. The ship's pool deck is definitely incredible, and that is just the beginning. I think it's a real possibility that I could gain 10 pounds on a Disney cruise. Disney Cruise Lines offer something called rotational dining. That means you and your waitstaff get to rotate to each of the 3 different themed restaurants. The names of these restaurants include the Enchanted Garden, the Royal Court, and the Animator's Palace. Inside the Enchanted Garden, the ceiling turns from dawn to dusk. You may also enjoy watching flowers bloom on the ceiling as you eat your meal. The Royal Court is a restaurant inspired by the Disney princesses' ballrooms. Animator's Palace is also unique. This restaurant is themed to look like an animator's studio. During your meal, you're able to design a character at your table and later watch it come to life before your very eyes. Dinner and pools are fun, but I think your own private island tops it all. Disney Cruises could take you as far as Alaska, Canada, Norway, and so many more destinations. But my favorite port of call is Castaway Cay, Disney's private island. While visiting Castaway Cay, you can expect to play on amazing water slides and beautiful white sand beaches. Don't forget to snap a picture with one of your favorite Disney characters. You may also enjoy clubs for kids, teens, barbecue lunches, snorkeling, and all you care to eat ice cream. Castaway Cay was definitely my favorite part of my Disney cruise experience. Well, I hope you enjoyed our stroll around the ship's beautiful pool deck, our glimpse at some of Disney's finest restaurants on the ocean, and our stop at Castaway Cay. Today's cruise is coming to an end, but I am confident that I will see you again on my next Disney cruise. So, until next time, see you real soon!
Funny, quirky, wacky, outdated, and completely crazy. Some of these laws of our country deserve recognition. We still have laws today that are outdated and ridiculous. Get a load of these crazy laws. In order for a pickle to be officially considered a pickle, it must bounce. Do they have pickle inspectors? Women may be fined for falling asleep under a hairdryer, so can the salon owner. I guess they could cook their brains. If an elephant is left tied to a parking meter, the parking fee has to be paid just as if it were a vehicle. Is the circus trying to park for free? It is illegal to put a violin in a paper bag, and donkeys are not allowed to sleep in bathtubs. A woman is not allowed to drive a car unless a man is in front of the car waving a red flag to warn other people in other cars. Really? It is illegal for children under the age of 12 to talk on the phone unless accompanied by a parent. Pay attention to this law. According to some states, anyone who takes a bath must wear clothes. How crazy is that? It is illegal to ride an ugly horse, and it is illegal for children to play games on Sunday without a license. Listen to this. Birds have the right-of-way on all highways. How about road runners? Beep, beep. Anyone can be fined up to $200 for denying the existence of God. That actually might be a great idea. Even though it has been fun to laugh at these crazy laws, there are official reasons behind them. Many of these laws were made in the late 1800s and the early 1900s, when our country was changing from an agricultural to industrial nation. This was a time when life was a lot simpler and does not apply to society today. Even though these laws are rarely used today, you never know. Be careful out there.
Do you have any siblings? Because I do. I have 3, and 2 of them are twins. Their names are Maclay, Micah, and Junior. But I just call them the good, the bad, and the ugly. Maclay is the good because he doesn't act up. Mike is the bad because you'll never know what you're going to get out of him. And Junior is the ugly because he's always folding his arms and saying no. Man, becoming a big brother is hard work. First, Maclay, he's the good one. He's always in a good mood and he doesn't act up a lot. Maclay's the type of person that doesn't move around a lot, and the only time he cries or messes with you is when he wants to be held. I mean, yeah, he talks real loud as baby jibber jabber sometimes, but he doesn't really act up unless you mess with him. His brother Micah is a whole nother story. Second, Micah, he's the bad one. You'll never know what you're going to get out of him. I mean, it's crazy. One minute he's sitting down, the next he's about to fall out of his walker because he's trying to take Maclay's toy. For example, he'll run into the kitchen, trying to get whatever he can reach, not knowing someone or something can fall on him. But I can deal with that because his brother Junior, because his brother Junior is different. When Daddy is gone, Junior, the ugly, becomes very disrespectful by folding her arms and saying no. But that is not the only reason he's the ugly one. And when I say ugly, I don't mean how he looks, but how he acts. He's always folding his arms and saying no. And when you tell him to sit down, that's when he gets really mad. He folds his arms, he yells, he says no, he even screams. And all it takes is for him to hear Daddy open the door, and then he runs to the couch to sit down. And when Daddy comes inside, he stays sitting down. And to make sure he's not in trouble, he says, "I love you, Daddy." Thinking that just warms his heart. In conclusion, dealing with my little brother isn't as hard as it sounds, because all you need is patience, calmness, and you need to be understandable. And I have all those things when it comes to dealing with my little brothers, Maclay the good, Micah the bad, and Junior the ugly. At the end of the day, I know they still have a lot to learn, and I love them more than anything.
Splash, splash, splash. Pedal, pedal, pedal. Chop, chop, chop. Oh, hi. I did not see you there. Today, I'll be teaching all of you how to do a triathlon. First, ask your parents to sign you up. Next, ask your parents to pick up your race packet. Then, head out to the pool. Once there, a guy will give you an ankle band timer which will track how long it took you to finish the triathlon. Then, you need to find a guy to put your age and race number on your legs and arms. Once you're all marked up, head out with the other kids in your age group and wait until it's your turn to race. When it's your turn, a race volunteer will take you to your starting point. When you hear the sound of the horn, bam, you're off. You will swim 4 laps, down, back, down, back. When you are done with the swim, you will run to the transition area and find your towel with all your race gear on it. You will put on your shoes, your race number belt, and helmet. Then you will walk your bike to the edge of the street. Hop on your bike and head off biking. You will bike for 2 miles exact. When you are done with the bike, you will hop off, walk it back to the transition area, and put it away. Then you need to take off your helmet for safety reasons. You will start running at a half a mile. Keep running until you see the finish line. When you see the line, run even faster to cross the line. Give the lady your ankle band timer, and you are done with the triathlon. Now you can have with the other kids and have some more fun. There's usually a bounce house, a massage table, a snow cone machine, best of all, family swim time. After swim time, the top 3 winners in each age group are announced. If you're a top winner, you receive a trophy. Even better than that, there's raffle time. Each racer is given a raffle ticket in order to win cool prizes. There's usually
gift cards, t-shirts, and my personal favorite, new race gear. Now doesn't that sound fun? You should give it a try sometime. And that's all you need to know about doing a triathlon.
The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education. Those are the words written by my hero, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in 1947 while attending Morehouse College in his The Purpose of Education paper. Dr. King was born on January 15, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia, and assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee on April 4, 1968. Every summer, I like to visit Atlanta, Georgia for vacation. I know everyone is thinking, Six Flags, right? Well, that too, but I also like to visit the King Center in Ebenezer Baptist Church. Did you know that Dr. King and his wife, Coretta Scott, are both buried in the King Center and have an eternal flame that is always lit? Dr. King is my hero because he fought and spoke of the importance of education. Because of my research, readings, and studies, today I stand up strong and say what's on my mind because I can with confidence. I know that education is my ticket to success, and I, like Dr. King, want to attend college and obtain my doctorate degree. I know that I'm taking the right steps to achieve my goals. I value the college prep motto and school creed that Dr. Smalls has implemented into our everyday routine. I try to live out the true meaning of the creed, and I say it proudly. I know that I'm an intelligent and responsible student, and that the decisions that I make, whether good or bad, will affect the rest of my life. And I, like my hero, strive to overcome all obstacles that stand in my way, and giving up is not an option. I'm going to make a difference in this world by making positive choices. We can all make a difference in this world because we have opportunities like getting education. Education is the key to success, and I want not just me, but for all of us to succeed. You, me, her, him, everyone in this room wants a gold medal of success, and we will get the gold medal of success as long as we strive towards education and ambition. In closing, this is not just a speech for me, this is my real life. I have a copy of Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech hanging in my room that I look at every day. My dream is to one day be called Dr. Trevor King. You all may not believe me now, but I value the words of my hero that no person has the right to reign on your dreams.
My sister and I, we used to drive our mom crazy just because of some meals with toys.
Please, Mom, please, can I, Mom, please?
As usual, she would say, "No, we'll eat at home." I loved junk food. Everyone likes the crackle of chips in their mouth, watching TV with their favorite pizza or hot dog. Joy. Why not? If McDonald's and Coca-Cola are the official sponsors of Olympic Games. I am a swimmer, and I can eat whatever I want. Well, I was thinking like this until I got this news. My dad's best friend died from obesity. Junk food can be appealing for a variety of reasons: convenience and price and taste. Every time we see, smell, or eat junk food, our brain worsens and gets active, and we feel a complete lack of control and get addicted from the first bite. Food and drink companies now have many ways to reach us: TV, internet, billboards, supermarket promotions. It seems like everywhere you look, there's an ad telling you, "Come back for more." Our body is replacing billions of cells every day and is using food we consume as a source of building materials. Eating well is part of the formula that can reduce our risk of chronic disease by 80%. Junk food will ruin that. We'll cause schoolwork to suffer. Low nutrients and high sugar content deplete energy levels and the ability to concentrate in classes. Researchers found that children who ate fast food 4 to 6 times a week are tested in math and science significantly lower than kids who ate healthy foods. Unfortunately, overweight kids are more likely to be bullied than normal weight peers. Some of them even prefer to drop out of school. We must be smarter than clever market researchers and branding experts. We have to learn to make our choices. Very common to hear, stop drugs, stop smoking, but I want you to stop fast food because fast and cheap food is not true. You will spend time and money, but later in a doctor's office. We need to have a better chance for a healthy future. Maybe you are the future Michael Phelps, or you're Simone Biles, or even Neil Armstrong. We are the future of the United States, and we can make a difference. Give yourself a chance to succeed, because you are what you eat.
If you vote for me, I'll make your dreams come true. If you want money to fall from the sky, money will fall from the sky. If you want candy every day, you'll have candy every day. This is what every candidate says when they're trying to win. That's not what this speech is about. This speech is about politics. Your voice, your power. From voting to electing, from debating to the final results. Politics is a big part of our country. Whether we like it or not, it is. We might have people who we dislike or have a deep disregard for, or we might have people who we like or love in the political system. Most people think that politics is just about the senators, presidents, and vice presidents. Well, I'm here to tell you it's not. According to the actual definition, politics is the activities associated with the governance of a country or other area, especially the debate or conflict among individuals or parties having or hoping to achieve power. Individuals in power are very big in politics. Each individual has power in the political system. Voting is also a power. I'm not saying that we don't have rights too. Rights and power are not the same thing. Rights are legal social principles are freedom or entitlement. Power is the ability to do something or act in a particular way. Rights can, however, seem as privileges. Power, on the other hand, is the same thing as having your voice known or heard. And this is your right. Participation is also a big part of politics. You may ask why. Well, I'm here to tell you. It's a major way for your voice to be heard. Your voice makes a difference. Making a difference can make a change. To pick up that pencil and write on that ballot makes a change. If people don't vote, then whose voice can be heard? Who speak up for our country, our city, our state? Nobody will. That's why participation is a big part of politics. When you insert your vote, you insert your voice. You insert your power. You make a change that might move us forward. From voting to electing, from debating to the final results. My name is Dylan Ashley Suggs, and I approve this message.
Have you ever wondered what it was like on the inside of your dog's cage? I know I have, or at least I did, until it happened. Today I'm going to be telling you about the time I got locked in my dog's cage, and like any other horrifying story, it was a dark and stormy night. My family was in the living room watching TV, while I was in my room sleeping, when suddenly I noticed a dark figure in a corner of my room. I walked closer, turned on the lights, and realized it was a dog cage. Dun, dun, dun! Question was, who put it there? Then I realized I put it there. I also started to notice the dog cage door was open. Question was, Who opened it? Then I realized I did that too. After a while, I started to think to myself, dogs are pretty cool. They stay in cages. So I crawled in, got nice and snug, and locked myself in. I felt pretty good. Then until I realized what I did. You see, that was the day I realized I was very, very claustrophobic. And if you don't know what that means, it basically means you like tight spaces. Back to what I was saying though. I was in there for so long, I started writing a mental diary to keep me sane. It went a little something like this. Dark. Cold. Alone. The dog walks into the room. Hey, urinating's for outside. Bad dog. I let you out on this side, you're a pain. Why you gotta do me like that, dog? Back to what I was saying. Dark, cold. Oh, I can't take this. I shook the cage, and I ramped the barge, and I managed to get my right hand to the lock. Good job, righty. I walked away mad, but then I realized, this is actually a pretty good day. I lost, and I learned. I learned that I was claustrophobic, and I lost my dignity. In conclusion, that was the worst 3 seconds of my life.
This is a story about hope. Si ti muño after me, lera kisa popoyo, means if the children are sleeping in the streets, then what are we doing for them? This is a message from the orphans of Port-au-Prince, Haiti, who are living in the streets without families to look after them. One of those homeless kids was a boy named C'est la vie. C'est la vie had a mother and a father, but sadly they were killed by police for no reason at all. He walked the streets of Port-au-Prince, Haiti, sad and alone. Eventually, he sat down and cried. He no longer had a home to go to. Today, I will share a few how C'est la vie found not one but 2 homes and how we shared hope with others. The first home C'est la vie found was with other street kids. While he was sitting on the street, a soft hand touched his shoulder. It was another boy named Tefray. Tefray asked C'est la vie, "I have some mangoes. Do you want some?" C'est la vie nodded and put his hand out and grabbed the fruit. Tefray took C'est la vie to the banyan tree where the other street kids lived. They did not live in a house, but they took care of each other and looked after one another under the banyan tree. They became C'est la vie's new family. The second home C'est la vie found was with a church. One day, the police grabbed C'est la vie when he was out looking for food. He got away and ran to a church. Inside the church, he met many people there to tell him about his story. And they told him by themselves they are like a drop of water in the ocean, but together they could be a mighty river. The church adopted C'est la vie and the other street kids. They raised enough money to build an orphanage for all the street kids of Port-au-Prince, Haiti. The church family became C'est la vie's new home. The police did not like the street kids having an orphanage, so they burned it down. But the street kids did not lose hope. They raised enough money to rebuild the orphanage, and they started a radio station that they could spread the message of hope around the world. It is called Radio Tingling, or the Children's Radio, which is still running today. C'est la vie had a lot of bad things happen to him in his life, but in the end he found hope. He found a home with Tefray and the other street kids, and he also found a home with the church family, and he could share his message of hope around the world just by using a radio station.
Did you know that 1 in 3 families are struggling to meet basic needs every day? What you didn't know is that most of the time it is not their fault. You probably didn't know that I was that 1 in 3. People don't just wake up and decide to struggle. What if they lost their job and couldn't find another one in enough time and ran out of money? My mom does a great job at making sure that we have everything we need, like food, clothes, and somewhere to live. We mostly struggle because our fathers choose not to help us anymore. It makes me feel like it was my fault he left. I think sometimes maybe I should have done better in school or got good grades. You may ask, why does that kid wear the same clothes all the time? Or why don't they ever wear name brand clothes? If you think this, please remember that you may not know their situation, and life is not about who has all the Jordans or name brand clothes. To me, life is about how my mom volunteers in my school every day, and she donates things to my class. She helps me with my reading and math homework. Because my mom wants us to have a better life, she's going back to school, and I'm proud of her. She's showing me that anyone can be successful. They just have to want it. For example, when our van broke down, instead of just staying home, she took a taxi to school because her first class starts at 8 a.m. Then she took the bus home and it stopped on Hartsfield and Mission Street. Because my mom didn't want to spend our Blue Pop money, she walked all the way to her school. So if you ask me, am I struggling? In a way I am, but my mom makes me feel like the richest kid in the world. The things that she has taught me, I will carry forever. She has taught me to be kind, giving, and caring. Because of my mom, I now know to remember and to always think about others and not just myself. In conclusion, I leave you with the great words of Frederick Douglass. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. Thank you.
Every year, 100,000 marine animals are killed by litter that has found its way into our oceans. Litter can be found along our highways, in our neighborhoods, and all around our beaches. Litter is not only unsightly, but it is dangerous for people, animals, and environment. Litter has a huge effect on animals. Marine animals such as whales, dolphins, and sea turtles die every year because of litter. They can easily get their heads stuck in a glass bottle. In the year 2000, an autopsy was done on a dead bottlenose dolphin and found almost 200 square feet of plastic trash, including trash bags and food packages. If an animal consumes a glass bottle, it can take 1 to 2 million years to decompose. How could we let such a terrible thing happen to animals that we care for so much? Now let's talk about our land. We have to take care of our land so we can live happily. When you litter, you are breaking these rules. In landfills, trash can get into the ground and eventually make its way into our water. I can't imagine trying to drink something made out of a diaper. Yuck. The chemicals that are in the air from litter can cause skin problems, awful deformities, or even diseases such as cancer. What if the next generation had so much litter, no one on earth could stay? To prevent that from happening, keep listening. When you hear the word litter, do you think of how much harm it can cause? Sadly, many people don't care. If you are one of those people, you probably litter. You may not even notice it, so here's how to prevent it. Have you ever bought a pack of sodas? When you're thirsty, you have to get that annoying plastic ring off first. Believe it or not, those plastic rings can do serious harm to the environment. Before you recycle them, make sure to cut them. This prevents animals such as the sea turtle from getting strangled in them. Another suggestion is to try not to use plastic cutlery and plates. Even though these are quite common at birthday parties, there is always a replacement for them. The last thing is to be vigilant about recycling. I know it sounds simple, but one small thing can make a big difference. We all need to look more carefully at what litter does to the environment. Turn off the TV, grab a trash bag, and go outside. See how much litter you can find. Like Robert Swan said, the greatest threat to the earth is the belief that someone else will save it. Everyone should pitch in, not just one person. Remember, the earth is not your dumpster. Don't be a litterbug. Have you ever gotten called shorty, pint-sized, mini, munchkin, or elf-like? Well, I have before. I especially don't like it when tall people say it. A few things they seem to overlook are they can't fit into small spaces, their feet might stick out of the blink of the night, and they grow out their clothes quicker. And man, does that make their parents angry. Yep, more money down the drain. Cha-ching. Now, if you ask me, being tall isn't all it's cracked up to be. There are lots of positive things about being vertically challenged, like having lots of leg room during car, bus, and plane rides. Big crowds? That's small potatoes. I'll be right through to get right where I live. Usually where the tall people are. And yes, this is embarrassing, but I still fit comfortably in a shopping cart seat. With all that said, there's still plenty of shortcomings to being small. For example, it doesn't feel good to be mistaken for a first grader, and having to look up at people all day can really make your neck sore, and people are always using me as a free armrest. The absolute worst part is being too short for some amusement park rides, and it's always the best ones too. How about when you go to the store and you can't reach your favorite cereal? Dad, I need your help. Secretly, I get the most frustrated when I see my tall friends do things I can't. Basically, to make a long story short, when it comes to how I feel about my height, I like to meet on middle ground. Like the old saying goes, it doesn't feel good, or no one will be tall if no one was short. I think it's important to keep it all in perspective and not focus too much on the highs or the lows. Everything works best when we use our strengths together. Regardless of my size, I will always reach for new heights.
Different hair, a different day. The life of hair. There are so many people that change their hair every day or every week. Sometimes I can't even recognize who is who because every day they come to school, they have different hair. I mean, this doesn't happen with boys too much, but the girls are constantly changing. I'm confused. Why do they do this? Is there anyone else out there that is curious about all these hair changes? There is this one girl at my school, I truly think she's having an identity crisis. On Monday, she shows up to school in a ponytail, so it looks like she is ready for PE. Her hair is pulled back and she is prepared to be a fierce competitor. But on Tuesday, that same girl has changed identities. She steps into the room and her hair is hanging halfway down her back. And when she turns her head quickly, it flares out like the swings at the fair. She obviously took a lot more time with her hair today. It looks like she brought out all the heavy machinery. Blow dryer, flat iron, hairspray, and whatever else you could possibly think of. Now Wednesday, that is the day she must have overslept. When she walks through that classroom door, it looks like Albert Einstein must have been scrummaging through her hair, looking for something. It is a mess. I know she probably broke several combs trying to get all of the knots out. Here comes Thursday. Someone at home obviously felt sorry for her and pitched in to make it a better hair day. This time, every single strand of hair is perfectly in place because her hair is in braids. On Friday, Friday is the best day of all because she just leaves her hair like it is. Finally, the girl I recognize. I wish that she would leave her hair with one hairstyle for at least one whole week. I guess us boys just don't care about our hair that much because we really only do one of two things with it. We jump out of the shower and put a hat on, or we comb through it really quickly. I guess having different hair every day is a way to express yourself, but at least people can recognize me every day. So my point is, long hair, short hair, curly hair, straight hair, I don't care, it's just hair.
Are you a baby sister, brother? Being a baby sibling is difficult and fun. First of all, sometimes older siblings are bossy, although they protect you and are lifelong friends. Are you the youngest? I am. So let me tell you why it's fun and hard. Siblings like to tell you wrong when you accidentally make a mistake. They're very critical of you. They're quick to point out your faults. Just because they're older, they think they are your mother. For instance, I was home relaxing and my sister calls out, "Emily!" So I go and answer her and she says, "Will you get me a piece of paper from right over there?" And of course, she points right beside her. When my sister Madeline does that, she is as irritated as an itchy sweater. On the other hand, siblings protect you. They protect you from people. For example, my sister defends me when people criticize me. Recently, I was diagnosed with celiac, and so my sister reads the labels on everything I eat, so I don't get sick. I love having someone other than my parents and my friends to protect me, and you should too. Older siblings try their best to lead you away from the mistakes they've made in the past. They're lifelong friends. Brothers, sisters, and other relatives love you no matter the case, because they know you love them just as much. Their siblings are considerate and give you advice, wanted or not. They read to you and help you with homework. Madeline, will you help me with my homework? My sibling is sometimes helpful when it comes to homework. They care about you and want you to be successful in educational programs and improve in different skills. In the end, being a baby sibling is more fun than it is difficult. It is the bond between siblings that lasts forever. So, yes, siblings are hard to deal with because they are sometimes bossy. But they are extraordinary because they protect you and are lifelong friends. Ultimately, it may appear like you and your older sibling are the worst of enemies, when in fact you're the best of friends.
America is supposed to be the country where everyone is treated equally. However, how things currently stand, we are not equal at all. Because as a 10-year-old citizen of this country, I cannot vote. Do I look like I was born yesterday? So why do adults think that kids like myself are incapable of informing ourselves with enough knowledge to make an educated vote? True, most kids do not know all the details of the voting process, but it doesn't mean you can't learn. Some grown-ups may cast votes based on information that's not that important, like whether or not a candidate is Republican or Democrat. If kids voted, we will educate ourselves and consider things that really matter, like who could do the job the best. Furthermore, kids will not take voting for granted. In the 2012 election, out of all adults that could vote, only 57% actually did vote. Makes you wonder where the other 43% of adults were. Do you want to know? I'll tell you. They were working, which is something most adults have to do. Good news, kids don't have to work, so we won't have that as an issue to keep us from voting. Don't want to wait in a long line all day? Because we'll be more than glad to wait in a long line all day long, especially if it means we don't have to go to school. The point is, kids could vote in the place of their working parents. We could represent the larger portion of the voices and concerns from those families that fall in the 43%. Lastly, kids should be allowed to vote because we are citizens of this country just like any other adult. We all should be able to vote and make decisions on our own future. An issue that affects us right now is education. What we want should most definitely matter. If kids voted, the education system would be better because we know how much is needed to give our schools great teachers, updated technologies, and other resources. To be more specific, if kids voted, our teachers would have more money in smaller classes in order to do their jobs more effectively. Everything that is voted on directly affects us kids, which is why the days of us sitting by and letting these so-called adults make all the decisions has to stop today. I have a voice. My voice should be heard. And your voice should be heard. And your voice should be heard. And your voice should be heard. Everyone's voice should be heard. Because kids' votes matter. My name is Benita McGurk, and I approve this message. Thank you.
Why it's hard to be me? Not me like in sense of who I am, but more in sense of how it's hard to be the youngest. I know some of you firstborn middle children think you have it hard, but let me break it down on why being the youngest is the worst. I what you're thinking. What on earth could the youngest child have to complain about? Well, being the baby in the family has some advantages. Let me tell you all about the downside. First times, they are non-existent. Not that I didn't have my first walk, word, sleepover, etc. But let's face it, the novelty wore off. You know why? Because my older siblings have been there, done that. Second of all, we get the least amount of time with our parents. I mean, literally, by the time they have the youngest, they are older and will have less time on earth with us. Well, that might be sad, it's the truth. Of course, the firstborn gets the undivided attention, the middle child comes along, and the parents learn to divide and conquer. Once the baby comes along, they are worn out and overwhelmed. Thirdly, I spend a lot of time on the sidelines of my siblings' events. I've probably seen every soccer field from here all the way south to Miami and all the way north to Atlanta. Don't get me wrong, my cheerleading skills have greatly improved over the years, and I like to consider myself a master of the concession stand. So clearly these times have made me a well-rounded person. Fourth, can you say errand boy? Yeah, that's me. You know that you abuse your older siblings' power by having the youngest get you something when you need it? The parents do it too. Skipping everyone in birth order above us to retrieve some items from some random location? It is not as if we have a choice in matter. No, as youngest we are born to serve. Finally, hand-me-downs. Ugh, they're the worst. I'm thankful at least that the middle child in my family is a girl. At least the hand-me-downs are reasonable. I mean, I don't have to wear clothes from my brother, although I secretly sneak his clothes from time to time. Nothing is more comfy than my big brother's oversized sweatshirt. Wouldn't you agree? With all this being said, I have to say, my family is awesome. My parents worked very hard to make us all feel special and unique. My siblings and I are definitely close despite our rivalry, and certainly birth order has some effect on your personality, and sometimes we get the short end of the stick. Wouldn't you agree that the youngest child role is a difficult one? Seriously, people, we the youngest deserve to be spoiled.
Is your schedule jam-packed full? If I were to ask you how you've been doing, would your reply be, I'm so busy? Does your calendar look anything like my mom's? Commitments and appointments scribbled in almost every square? If your family's anything like my family, you probably feel like you cannot add another thing to your schedule. However, I would like to share about an activity I participate in that I believe is so worth carving time out for. American Heritage Girls is a Christian scouting program for girls ages 5 through 18. The AHG motto is faith, service, and fun. These three meaningful components of the American Heritage Girls program are why AHG has become a priority in my family schedule and why you should consider adding it to yours. American Heritage Girls has helped me grow in my faith. As an AHG girl, I am asked to live by an oath, which begins with, I promise to love God. This oath stands as a reminder that God must come first in everything. In order to encourage girls' development, AHG designed badges that may be earned by completing a number of requirements. And many of the badges are personal faith in God is emphasized. For example, the badge Daughter of the King is all about my relationship with Jesus. I am required to spend quiet time with the Lord as part of this badge requirement. Money management is another badge I earned. It emphasizes how I must take care of all God has given me. These are just two among many badges I may earn that point me towards God and help me grow in my faith. AHG not only helps girls develop their faith, but also encourages service to our family and in our community. Service may be hard work and require giving of my time, but it helps me consider others' needs before my own. Our troop serves in many ways, such as placing flags on soldier graves for Veterans Day, and we visit a nursing home monthly where we play games, sing, and make crafts with the residents who live there. There are also many badges I may earn that include activities that remind me to serve my family. It may sound like American Heritage Girls is all work and no fun, but this is far from true. Our leaders provide plenty of fun on all our outings and on all our meetings. Our troop participates in pizza parties, camp trips, educational field trips, and lock-ins, just to name a few. At our regular meetings, we enjoy learning new skills as we work on badge requirements. Actually, as I think about it, everything we do in AHG is so much fun because it's all shared with friends. The things I've shared about American Hair Patrols just touches the surface of the numerous opportunities there are to develop a deeper faith in God, a desire to serve others, and of course, to have tons of fun. So even if your calendar may look like my mom's, wouldn't you agree that HG is worth the investment of your time? I sure do.
Hi, my name is Haley Kemp. Today I'm going to be talking to you about litter bugs. Why don't people understand? People always go shopping, right? But some people also litter when they go shopping. You're probably thinking, how do people litter when they go shopping? Not all people litter though, just some. Say like you're shopping and you're buying a new cell phone. Some people think smart not to spend all their money there. But on the car and the way home, they have their windows rolled down. The bag or pieces of paper flies out. When that happens, that's trouble. It causes littering. Some people may even toss it out. Not good. According to litteritcostyou.com, it says a small piece of litter you have in your hand today could amount to billions of litters at the end of the year. Litter has been thrown in public spaces and other streets. Here's some more information from litteritcostyou.com. Number 1, disposing of waste is very dangerous. Number 2, items most frequently found is fast food wrappers. Number 3, items most common is aluminum cans. Here's more information from environment.com. It says, plastic has become the most recent since the beginning of the 20th century. And modern life is unthinkable without it. Unfortunately, what makes it so problematically is life and low cost and low rate. Also, making it problematically is when it comes to end-of-life waste. Dozens of millions of tons of debris and bottles end up in the ocean. People don't understand. Littering is bad. We could be saving money for saving lives. We have to keep spending money for bags to clean up people's trash. I want everyone after school to go to your neighborhood to each store and tell them what I said. Thank you for you taking out your time for me. So in closing, don't be a litter bug.
Think of this. Right now, as I'm speaking, many animals are being abused, neglected, and mistreated. In fact, according to the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, the ASPCA, another animal is abused every 60 seconds. The Humane Society reports that there are about 1,400 documented cases of animal cruelty each year. However, most cases of animal abuse are never reported, so it's hard to know the exact numbers. So many animals, there are many types of abuse and neglect, including intentional cruelty, neglect due to hoarding, puppy mills, dogfighting, cockfighting, and more. So many animals die all the time, and I want to help change that. You can too. How? By doing these 3 things. First, you can adopt a pet from your local animal rescue. Animal rescue organizations work so hard to help animals in danger, but once rescued, these animals need a home. So if you really want a pet, I recommend you adopt one. For example, right here in Tallahassee, you can adopt a pet from Last Hope Rescue. One success story from Last Hope Rescue is about a dog named Taffy. She was rescued after she was thrown over a fence and discarded like trash. Now she's in a wonderful home, and her owner said, "She is the light of my life, and I cannot thank you enough for allowing me to adopt her." You can create your own happy ending for an animal. Next, if you adopt a pet, make sure you know how to take care of it. Kind people want to take in animals who need a home. However, if you take in too many animals, you might not be able to feed or really take care of them all. That leads to unintentionally neglecting your animals. And of course, don't abuse your pet. You can actually get arrested for animal abuse. Finally, you can donate to one of the many organizations that help animals in danger. You can donate money or supplies, or you can even volunteer your time. You can also call your local animal rescue if you see an animal in trouble, dying, or hurt. If you love animals, you should do as much as you can to help. And remember, the smallest things can make a big difference in an animal's life.
I hate Mondays, you hate Mondays, we all hate Mondays. Now, I have met a few aliens in my life that said Mondays are okay, but they're from flipping Mars. What do they know about Earth and the things we like and don't like? Now, let me state the obvious. First, I hate Mondays because you have to get up. Even though you have to get up every other day, Mondays are the hardest. Why are they the hardest, you ask? Well, because you just came off a 2-day weekend full of such fun in the sun, relaxation, sleeping in late, or even pooping can be a joy. But then, here comes Monday. Bang, bang, bang. Knocking at your door. Next, I hate Mondays because you have to come back to the dreadful thing called school, where teachers roam the halls like the Incredible Hulk and tell you what to do, where to go, and even can tell you, Mister, you get a referral. Last, I hate Mondays because Monday is Monday, and Monday can be a real pain in the butt if you don't like getting up early, sleeping in, or even seeing your friends can be like getting stabbed in the heart with dynamite. In conclusion, if Monday was my girlfriend, please, I would break up with her. If Monday was a gift, I would take it back to the store. If Monday was a person, it would have no friends. So let's recap what Monday really stands for. M stands for madness. O stands for, oh my gosh. N stands for, no, go away. D stands for, dang diggity dang. A stands for, absolutely not. And Y, yes, I know. I hate Monday. Say it with me now. I hate Monday. Say it louder.
I hate Mondays. And I'm nervous too. It's okay. I'm Rocky, and I apologize for running a little late this morning. I was at Roberts Elementary School. They had a 5K run for the Trent Trot, annual Trent Trot this year, so I was a part of that. And then I went home and took a shower and rushed right over. You know, I've never been to one of these. I've heard all about the Tropicana Speech Contest, and I had a young man that lives in my neighborhood that's in the 4th grade that goes to DeSoto Trail, and he read me his speech from last year, and I was very impressed. But I really didn't know what to expect. First, a little bit about me for you students. Like you, I am a product of our school system, or our public school system. I went to Timberlane Elementary School. Mr. Gilbert was my principal 42 years ago at Timberlane. And then I went to Raw Middle School and Leon High School. And I graduated from Leon High School. My daddy graduated from Leon High School. In 1930, my grandmother graduated from Leon High School. So my family has been in this community for a very long time. I started my career with Leon County Schools in 1988. I was a hall monitor at like the very bottom of the organizational chart. I think I earned about $3 an hour. I left Leon as a hall monitor, and I taught American history at Godby High School, and then I left Godby and taught at Lincoln High School. And I saw one of my former students here tonight whose daughter is in this contest today from Woodville, which kind of dates me, but it's very exciting. And then I returned to my alma mater, Leon, and served as an administrator and principal at Leon for 15 years. And now I've realized a dream come true and stand here as your superintendent. Having said that, let me say this. First, again, I've never been to one of these. I didn't know what to expect. It certainly wasn't what I saw. Y'all are amazing. So how about a round of applause for all these. But But again, I am so very proud of you. I know the judges are going to return soon and hand out ribbons and awards, but you are all winners. You are all winners. I can assure you that. But I am living proof also that I know you have goals and dreams and aspirations. If I could give you one piece of advice, never give up on those. Never, ever give up on yourself, because dreams can and will come true. Just continue to work hard. Continue to set your goals and priorities. Your priorities and goals are school and your grades. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. You all are the future leaders of our community, the state of Florida, and in this country. And I cannot tell you how proud I am of you. I mean that. That's a big responsibility, but our future in Leon County is very bright. It's an honor to be your superintendent, and if I can ever help you in any way, please let me know. So again, thank you so very much for having me.